I learnt in life that there are some things you should not allow yourself to get involved in. The contamination might be like radioactive contamination. Radioactive material might be small, but the effect might last long. Welcome back to another episode based on the book Lessons of My Early Life by Dr. Charles Apoki. To get the book, please check the links in the description. You can also get both hard and soft copies on Amazon. Leaving UBTH was a big relief for me. The workload was very strenuous, and as I had said earlier, it affected my health. Another disturbing aspect was that our salaries were not paid on time. My basic salary as a house officer was about 350 naira. Then, the dollar was about 50 kobo. That is, my salary was about $700. Being owed salaries for someone like me was quite stressful, bearing in mind that I had just managed to survive medical school financially, and I had old parents to cater for. I must confess that the kind of friends we had were quite supportive. We could depend on each other for food, accommodation, love, clothing, and shoes. Anybody's home was everybody's home. Then, in the Alderstown axis, we could migrate from the home of the Ekokos to the Czechs, from there to the Ikomis, from the Ikomis to Ejur's place, and from Ejur's place to the Akpomedayas. The Akiris, Ayakpimis, and many households I can't remember now were of different tribal backgrounds. Our parents might not even know each other. We did not even know each other's villages, but we were like a family. Every mother took us as her children. We hardly saw the fathers. We related more with the mothers because the fear of some fathers was the beginning of wisdom then. We were not gangsters like today because we had a strong desire to go to school and graduate, and today many of us are graduates and well-to-do. We shared great dreams and desires. We loved ourselves and defended each other. We argued very strongly, but we had our boundaries. There was no stealing, there were hardly any smokers around us, and no drug users. We treated our ladies with respect because we had some ladies as part of the crowd. This made coming to Warri Hospital give a feeling of being in good company and in a familiar environment. I now lived in the former European quarters of Warri, and the workload in the hospital, even though hectic, was more practical and relevant to me because I had made up my mind to be in general practice. The consultants we worked with gave us a good opportunity to understudy them and put into practice what we had learnt from them. We also had the opportunity to do some private practice that brought in some extra cash. There were two evils that I was introduced to at the Warri Central Hospital. One was abortions. This was quite rampant amongst house officers, and the Warri environment was very morally loose, and unwanted pregnancies were very common. As I reflect on that aspect of my life, I regret ever getting involved in such unholy and criminal acts. Thank God for the blood of Jesus that cleanses our past. I sometimes have panic attacks when I reflect on so many things that could have gone wrong and how my future could have been marred. The other aspect was promiscuity. As young house officers, women flocked to our residences. Each wanted to get married to a doctor. They came in droves, and their skirts also came down fast, too. I learnt in life that there are some things you should not allow yourself to get involved in. The contamination might be like radioactive contamination. Radioactive material might be small, but the effect might last long. The issue of sexual immorality is not funny. The church and parents do not know the degree of moral looseness of their children, particularly the females. I have come to realize that the females are usually the losers. They lose their honor and dignity. They are the ones whose academics suffer if they get pregnant. They suffer the pain and the risk of criminal abortions. Most of such relationships do not end up in marriages. If the abortions lead to infertility, The women suffer. If the abortion leads to death, it is the family of the girl that suffers loss. Many young, unbelieving ladies and loose Christian girls go into marriage with old scars of disappointment after sexual misuse and abuse by selfish and predatory male sexual explorers. Most young male sexual adventurists are outrightly predatory and selfish. My experience of temporary moral looseness nearly ruined my spiritual makeup. The good thing that happened was that I got married immediately after then. I also got born again immediately I left internship for my National Youth Service. Living in Aba separated me from my friends who were reluctant to come. Everyone was struggling to make a meaning out of life then. My early marriage also scared some of them away from me. We also had model Christian homes to emulate, both in church and in fellowship groups. The healthcare delivery system in Nigeria is better studied from within, not outside or from above. One of the major problems in our healthcare system is poor pay. From nurses, pharmacists, doctors to ward maids, the social structure is too poor. The consequence of this is that hospital workers look for ways to supplement their meager salaries by different unethical means. Lack of equipment poses another serious challenge to good healthcare delivery. Patients were milked dry by staff by demanding basic things that should have been available in the hospitals. One lesson I learnt very early in practice is the insincerity of government officials and civil servants in the discharge of their duties and their pronouncements. I made up my mind then never to work in the public sector or do contracts. Since then, I have hardly had business dealings with government. The unhealthy rivalry and enmity amongst senior hospital members of staff were terrible. I was shocked to see trained professionals whipping up tribal sentiments against their professional colleagues. This is one of the things that has formed my lifestyle. I hate rivalry. I prefer to move at my own pace. No matter how slow, I will get there. Your there might not be my there. The same rivalry is very prevalent amongst Pentecostal pastors. In many cases, it is subtle, but there are times when it becomes devilish. When elections into church positions are to take place, that is when you will see the devil in some men of God. My deduction from what I saw then, and even later in church, is that hypocrisy and insincerity are like a way of life to most people. In the Warri Hospital then, the most fraudulent and unethical practitioners were the most popular amongst the junior staff and even the patients and their relatives. I hardly attend meetings because what many say in meetings is very far from what they stand for. We usually start our ceremonies with opening prayers, after which we continue with lies, backstabbing, and evil schemes. That is why Nigerian politicians criticize policies that were formulated while they were in office. Why did you not speak out then, or resign if you were opposed to such policies? Dr. Victor Oregbu, my consultant surgeon, stood out amongst the lot in terms of skill and discipline. He was readily available to train us as young doctors. I acquired a lot of surgical skills from him. He did very neat surgeries with very minimal bleeding. I also learned how to close the skin in such a way that the scar tissue was minimal. I was happy to leave Warri for youth service. However, I had set the ball rolling for family life. As I mentioned earlier, I was not a Christian at that time, and there were some events that happened that formed my destiny, which I will write about in a later chapter. This episode highlights key lessons from early medical practice: resilience in hardship, the power of supportive relationships, the dangers of moral compromise, and the realities of professional life. It also emphasizes integrity, discipline, and the importance of choosing one's path carefully despite environmental pressures. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Remember to check the links in the description to get your copy of Lessons of My Early Life. You can also get both hard and soft copies on Amazon. God bless you.